Oh.
Hello there. Welcome to this edition of the Mediocre Mechanic. Today we're working on my daughter and son-in-law's car, the 2012 Nissan Sentra. And we have with us special guest, my brand new son-in-law, Parker Blue. As of 2 weeks. A 2-week anniversary right today, right?
Yep, today.
Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
You made it.
We did.
This far.
Wow,
So,
that's really hard.
So what we got to do, we got to change the oil in the 2012 Nissan Sentra. So the Nissan Sentra has a unique hood prop. Okay, it's a T-post because the hood prop is gone. So we bought the car, it didn't come with the hood prop. We found that out. So we're using for today, it'll work. So we got our drain pan down here. This guy here, you want to make sure you pop the little air bleeder valve thing here so the oil goes in there and doesn't glub out. All right, so we're gonna get out under here. Are you gonna crawl under the car?
You want me to?
You don't have to. It's a 15 millimeter drain plug. So we're gonna go in here. They're trying to get on the road, so this would be like a speed, almost like a pit stop kind of speed oil change, like in a race.
Yeah, like fast.
Exactly. All right, so I can take the camera down there and show you where the drain plug is when we do that.
Yeah.
Because you're dressed cute and all.
Thanks.
I
Thanks,
mean, I am
Dad.
too, but.
Yeah, you are really cute. It's okay.
But. All right, so here's Parker and Abby there. Check it out. So we're gonna go in underneath the car and gonna go back here and. Oh, okay, yeah. So it's right in the car. So this right here, the drain plug. Can't see my hand.
Give it
right.
to me.
So right here.
Give it to us.
Can you? Okay. So,
Can you point at it, Parker? Can you point at it?
right there.
Right there.
So
Yep.
this is the
Good
oil
job.
pan. The oil rests in here. So I'm gonna put the drain pan underneath it. Well, you'll notice we've got the car on ramp, so you wouldn't be able to get under here. Be careful when you do that. Not to drive over the front of the ramps. I mean, I've never done that, ever. So,
I bet.
So, hey, you know, this 15 seems a little loose. I'm gonna see if a 14 works better.
Okay.
Okay, so never mind about the 15. It's the 14. Okay, so it's lefty-loosey. So I'm pulling it toward me. See, it's super easy. I have safety, super safe gloves on, right? So I'm just twisted it out. Be careful if you just drove the car. It might be hot, but you gotta hang on to it until it starts kind of, oh, it's loose, boom, look at that.
Boom.
I even caught it, right?
Wow.
I had it. So I'm just gonna set that in there. That's gonna drain. And I got this pan here. I mean, I'm super clean and never drip anything, but I just put that under there.
Just for fun?
It's just, yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I don't know. So right over where I am, can you see, look, can you see me?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's my finger, right? So it's like right in front. So this, right here is the oil filter. Like right straight up here. Can you see that?
Yeah.
So that's the filter. So that needs to be hand tight. So I put it on hand tight last time I changed it. But when it gets hot and stuff, sometimes it gets stuck. So I may not be able to loosen it. I might have to get my oil filter wrench, which I do have one of those.
Wow.
But first I'm going to, this is kind of nice because you can actually, if you got a big enough drain pan, I can take the filter off at the same time that's draining and save time. So this is so little.
Doesn't seem very mediocre to me.
And sometimes you can get it without a wrench.
Only if you're super buff.
It's
Which-
moving
I thought it was too.
slowly.
Okay. So I'm using my oil filter wrench hand.
Let's cheer him on. Steve.
Steve.
Oh my gosh, it should be loose by now. It's going. Okay, so this one I was able to get. I promise. Oh my goodness. All right, so,
There we go.
super easy.
It's super easy.
So let me,
Super light.
let's move this back here. Watch out there, Parker, dude. Just goes, oh, go. See? Anyway.
Never spills.
That's why we got
Mediocre.
All right, so when you take the oil filter loose, then oil is going to come out of there too, right? So once you get, oh, look at that, see?
super clean quality oil.
Yep. Full synthetic.
Yep.
High mileage.
Well, you know, if you were less than mediocre, you might want to take your watch off just so you don't get stuff on it. But if you're mediocre or better, you can leave the watch on and get it oily. Okay, so I'm taking this off of here. And there's different kinds of oil filters.
Oh, gross.
And what comes out, I'm just holding on to this and I bring this down. And this has a little place where I can put it and have the oil drain out of it.
Oh,
All right, so now we got oil draining, bad oil out. So usually I'll let this sit and drain for 10 or 15 minutes, depending how warm the oil is. It's not very warm, so we'll let it drain for 15, 20 minutes. Then we'll come back and put it back together.
Woohoo!
Yeah. All right, so one important thing, so on your oil filter, this is the new one here. Oh, there's a feather that fell out of your car. Bird killer. Anyway, so there's a gasket that's got a rubber gasket that goes around the bottom. You want to make sure that comes off the oil filter. You don't want a double gasket. So sometimes this can come loose and be stuck up on the oil filter mount. So just make sure that's not up there. And then what I like to do, I'll take a rag and kind of just wipe off the shaft with old oil. Kind of get it a clean surface for the new one to go on. Can you see that? Can you see that shaft?
Where?
Like this, the threads?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's where the oil filter will screw back on.
Oh, okay.
So, and what you want to do too, and some people say you need to use like fresh oil for this, but mediocre mechanic, I'll just get a little bit from whatever's draining, as long as it's not too bad, and just kind of coat the gasket there, like that. And then we're going to put this back on. Get going. Don't cross thread it, just should go on real easy at first, like this, 2 fingers.
Ow, Lulu.
And okay, so now once it contacts the base, you want to go about 3/4 of the way around. Okay, so I just kind of, okay, so that's about 1/4, that's about 1/2, and that's about 3/4, and it still feels a little loose. And maybe that's just because I'm super strong. I don't know. So I'm going to go ahead and give it one more little turn, and that'll be good. Okay. Well, just while we're here, this is the oil filter wrench that I like. You use a 3/8 inch ratchet and put it on here, and it only loosens because you don't want to use a wrench to tighten it, right? So some of them you can go either way, but this one only loosens, and so you would put it up there, get it on there, and then it would tighten around that, and then you could really crank on it and loosen it. This filter's almost too small for this wrench, but there's all kinds of different styles of oil filler wrenches, but this is the kind of Mediocre Mechanic likes.
Where'd you get it?
I think I got AutoZone, but you can get them Amazon or whatever. So anyway, all right, so we got a little bit of oil still dripping back here, but I usually wait for that to drip a little more. I like to warm up the car. Not super hot, but the oil drains a little faster. But they're trying to get on the road, and this is okay. So we're going to go ahead and put the drain plug back in. Then finger tight first. Make sure it's not cross-threaded. Then we're going to get our what size wrench class? 14 millimeter. Yeah. So then we're going to go tighten it. We're just going to push it. And you don't need to over tighten this either. It doesn't need to be. We're going to strip everything. All right. So we got a new filter. We got our old oil out. We got a drain plug back in. What time is it?
New oil time.
Fresh oil time.
Yeah.
12:30.
All right, we're back. We're at the top now. We got our drain plug tightened. We got. Oh my gosh. Hey!
Hey, guys, come here.
So anyway, yeah. So right here is the fill part. We got our new filter on. We got our Yeah, and it's like, if you can see it, it looks like the little genie lamp or something on there, right? So that's where you put your new oil, fresh oil. And here's the oil checker, so theoretically there should be 0 oil in here, right? Because we drained it.
Theoretically.
So if there's still oil in here, there's gonna be a problem. Okay, good, clean, super clean. All right, so I got a funnel here. We've got to put the funnel in. This motor takes, this is the 2.0 liter. If you look on the door, it says like 1999 milliliter motor. Let's just call it 2.0 liter. This is a 5-quart jug. Oh, this car takes 4.1 quarts. Is what the manual calls for. So this is a 5-quart jug. It's kind of length on the back here, so we're going to go put in 4 and then we'll check it. So this is super fun and cool, pouring oil in, right?
Right.
I mean,
Super fun. My favorite, actually.
Not many people get to do this.
Not many.
Maybe a lot. More people should than do. I'll say that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So here, still pouring in some oil. I feel like we're getting close to, we need to check it. Let's check and see
Okay.
how much we poured in. All right, so there's a little less than 2 quarts left. So we're gonna go down to 1 quart left. Close.
Maybe cut this part down a
We
little.
could- maybe we could. Or if you have something interesting to say.
I don't really have anything interesting to say.
All right, so that should be, wait, one side, yeah, that should be that's about right. Okay, now, so sometimes you gotta wait a few seconds to drain down into the pan before you check it, right? Because it'll all be drained down in there. So, all right, now we waited a few seconds. So now we're gonna take this off. We already wiped it off once, but it's just habit. It's just good to wipe it off when you pull it out first. Put it back in. All right, and so it's showing about, so that looks perfect, right? So this between the low and high, between the two dots there. So that's good, except for you need to remember when you start the car up, the oil filter is going to fill up with oil. And this is a really small oil filter, but it is still going to, the level will go down because the oil filter fills up. And so we want to make sure we want it to be close to the high side of the can. So I'm going to put a little more in. And actually, we got to remember to put a little bit, but that's all I'm going to do because remember we're kind of on an incline with our ramps. So what we'll do is we'll probably start. We know we got enough oil to start the car. We'll start it. We'll back the car off, and then we'll stop it, and we'll wait a few seconds to check the oil in, and then we'll just see where we are. Because it'll be in the filter, it'll be everything, and you got to get a few seconds after you run it so it can drain back to the pan after being all pumping through the motor and stuff. So, all right, well that seemed like a boring section, but sometimes it's got to be boring.
Sometimes.
So let's pause that. All right, so we backed her down off the ramps. We started for a while. It's been off for a minute or so. We're gonna pull this out. We want to wipe it off first just because it might get all splashed around on there when it runs. We're pretty level surface, so we should get a pretty good idea how much we got. Are you ready? And we're right about there in the middle. Okay.
Perfect.
So pretty good. I'm actually going to go ahead and put a little bit more in, just because I want to.
Okay, for funsies.
Closer to the. But that's it. You do that. You do that on a regular basis, and your car will go for a long time, longer than if you don't.
Okay.
I promise. All right. All right. Thanks, Parker. Thanks, Abby.
Oh.
Here's some Mediocre Mechanic.